Hello and thank you for joining us as the Shire of Serpentine Jarrahdale commemorates ANZAC Day. I would like to acknowledge that this event is being held on the traditional lands of the Noongar people, and we pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. This ANZAC Day we are commemorating a little differently, quietly in our own homes, in our own way, but we will still remember them. Today we mark the 105th anniversary of the ANZAC landing on Gallipoli. On this day, 25th of April, we salute not only the spirit of ANZACs, but in paying tribute to them, we take the opportunity to dedicate ourselves to striving for our country as they did, upholding the finest qualities of courage, commitment, endurance and mateship. My fellow councillors and I remember and acknowledge our ANZACs.
We meet today not to celebrate or glorify war, but rather to remember those who have served our country during conflict and crisis. We also remember those who served on the home front, upholding Australian values, supplying material and moral strength to our ANZACs.
ANZAC Day is not merely a date or some far-off campaign, but a spirit. It is a time to reflect on the qualities of past Australians who, in times of hardship, displayed courage, discipline, self-sacrifice, self-reliance and friendship. Even as the number of ANZACs grows smaller, the spirit of ANZAC Day, which has been bequeathed to us from battlefields long ago, lives on as a representation of the heart of our nation.
Our defining moment came in 1915 at Gallipoli, a campaign which, if not an outright defeat, was certainly not a success. The young men of Gallipoli were the first ANZACs, ordinary young Australians doing their best in a campaign of intense ferocity. Their casualties were horrendous. Nearly 8,000 Australians were killed and 78,000 wounded.
It is this Gallipoli campaign that has come to symbolise the Australian soldiers' courage, determination, fighting prowess, humour and mateship. The essence of Gallipoli was that in the face of adversity and potential defeat, the Australian spirit triumphed. The pride and grief of Australia following Gallipoli formed a bond so strong that it made a statement to the world that we had come of age and that our armed forces and our people were truly of one nation.
By pausing on the 25th of April each year, this spirit of national unity is rekindled. ANZAC Day reminds us that wars are to be avoided, but when necessary, we must stand up for our values. It requires us to reflect on the past with pride, but also to look ahead and build on the achievements of our predecessors.
By displaying the characteristics of the ANZAC spirit, camaraderie, unselfishness, courage and tenacity of spirit, we can enrich the Australian tradition. We also pause today to acknowledge all the current and former members of our Defence Forces, the brave men and women who represent our country on a daily basis, serving in Australia and overseas, carrying on the spirit of ANZAC.
We also pay tribute to all former and current members of the Australian Defence Force, those lost in training, on operations, the wounded, the injured and the ill. The qualities of our ANZACs are as important as ever, and we should continue to draw upon them, for they can only make our community better and our nation more confident. Let us all remember our ANZACs.
Thank you, councillors. Although they cannot be with us today, I would like to acknowledge the Serpentine Jarrahdale RSL. The Deputy Shire President Councillor Atwell will now read the ode.
They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
Before we conclude and pause for a minute's silence, I know that the ANZAC spirit exists in each of us. Let us be guided by the ANZAC spirit in facing the unprecedented challenges that lay ahead, and let us strive to be worthy of the memory of those we honour today. We will now pause for a minute's silence, which will then conclude today's service. Please look after one another and please stay safe.